One big problem that the companies have right now in the US is when they're struggling to find talent for any particular position. Maybe they're limited by their budget, maybe they are limited by time. They have the capabilities internally, but because of these limitations, it's creating a new set of problems for them to find the right person for the role. They usually go to more generic solutions like finding recruitment agencies that can find a volume of candidates and share resumes with them, but that doesn't completely solve that issue.
Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Hey everybody, this is Max Pittman from WriteForMe, and you're listening to another episode of the Business Ninjas podcast. We meet the experts who are making things happen and scaling their businesses, and today we're talking about Ensitech with Diego Alba, who is the director of Nearshore Solutions, and Eduardo Ramirez, who is the co-founder and director of AI at Ensitech. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you, Max.
Thank you.
So Ensitech, it's in the custom software development space, and you guys also do staffing solutions. And the company's around for about 18 years. I'm definitely excited to dive in who you guys are doing at Ensitech. But before we jump into the organization itself, all the cool things that are going on, our community is built of entrepreneurs, executives, sales and marketing leaders like yourself. So I love it if you, Diego, can start with telling the community a little bit about yourself, your role, and some of the things you're focused on, and then we can hand things over to Eduardo as well.
Okay, thanks a lot, Max. I am in charge of finding new opportunities for the company to grow our staff augmentation line of business. We do provide custom software development here in Mexico, and in the last 3 years, we are expanding our company to the US and Canada to provide with talent and with candidates for their position. So my main task right now at Ensitech is to find new clients, new partners that are interested in working with us, that maybe are struggling with a particular position, particularly specialized IT-related position. We are technology agnostic. We have enough experience and technical background to help them recruit any type of role related to IT. So mostly that's my goal, to find new companies that need our services, partners that can promote our services and use them internally to grow themselves, and share content about our company. So that is my main job here.
Yeah, big task expanding to the US and Canada for a Mexico-based software development team. And I want to dive into a little bit about like how you're doing that and your approach and what makes for a good customer as well. I'm sure you can answer some of those questions here in a moment. Eduardo, what about yourself? Co-founder of the company, director of AI. What are you focused on right now?
Well, I mostly do AI on my daily basis. So I do AI projects, machine learning projects, data science projects. This is what we do. I mostly work for big corporations as a consultant. I'm an ex-Microsoft employee and a PhD. And this is what I studied in a break. So the story goes that I first co-founded Ensitech, and then I left to study and did my PhD and worked at the US for a while. Then I came back to the company. And when I came back, I started this practice to help companies implement advanced analytics, AI, machine learning solutions. And I mostly serve big customers, but I like to help a lot the US staff augmentation business, which Diego runs. And as well, I like to be in touch with all the teams in the company because I'm a co-founder. So I'm very interested in everyone. Feels great working with us.
Very cool. Yeah. Funny to hear how individuals, their evolution, right? Helping getting a company started, going to learn more, coming back. It's always a good thing to hear. It's kind of, it's always interesting to hear people's career path from, hey, Microsoft, now co-founding company. Now my focus for the last 4 years has been AI, and I have a PhD in it, right? So that's really, really exciting to hear like your own career path and journey to where you are today. And I don't want to put either of you two on the spot, but this is a big component of growing a business and scaling it and bringing it to new markets. But I'd love it to understand what is the elevator pitch behind Ensitech, what you guys are bringing to this space, right? What problem is the company solving? Diego, maybe this question's for you.
Yeah, I think one big problem that the companies have right now in the US is when they're struggling to find talent for any particular position. Maybe they're limited by their budget, maybe they are limited by time. They have the capabilities internally, but because of these limitations, it's creating a new set of problems for them to find the right person for the role. They usually go to more generic solutions like finding recruitment agencies that can find a volume of candidates and share resumes with them, but that doesn't completely solve that issue. That is being able to work through those candidates during the whole recruitment and interview process and actually having them joining the company. That it's a completely different type of situation that only finding resumes. So that's basically my elevator pitch. If you're struggling to find talent uh, and getting the resumes is not enough, we can help you with that. We can do the actual process completely from start to finish, having the person being interviewed, doing technical assessment, checking what they need to learn, if they need additional training, if you need help with the onboarding of the candidate, with providing them with equipment, with additional software, tools, whatever. We can take care of the whole process, take that burden off of your shoulders, and being like an extended HR department for your company. So that it's I think that is a solution that we can provide.
And I will add a little bit to that. It's not just HR. So we
Yeah.
add a lot of technical capabilities to these engagements, and because we like to do so, we in the other side of the company, there's a lot of internal consultants, engineers, data scientists. So we like to understand our customers' problems and jump in whenever we can, actually.
Gotcha. It sounds like for me, kind of on the outside looking in, that the biggest probably value that you can correct me if I'm wrong, that I think you guys provide to your talent is the ability to put them into these technical assessments. If I assume that going to be key for your potential partners in earning the trust and confidence that your teams are able to meet the technical capabilities they're looking for these specific projects or for this specific role. Would you say that's kind of like what makes your secret sauce, or is there something else I'm missing?
Can I do? Right. Okay. Yeah. So I think that's part of the secret sauce. Because so, technical work is hard. It's hard to actually to write a great job description. So you're a writer, you may know that. So writing things correctly is hard. So maybe customers, for example, don't have the right job description for the project because there's still some confusion about the type of roles that need to be playing and how. And so this is, for example, one part at the very beginning of the process. Of course, this is for customers that we work already. We can help. So we help them design their teams and with the background of different companies and projects that have done this before. And of course, if they have already a very clear definition, we can just take it. But there's then this process of feedback from the market in which they maybe think that the perfect candidate to do a certain role is X. And then we can provide a lot of feedback, but this is more like business as usual on the candidates that actually are in the market, because you may ask for a unicorn sometimes, right? So then we work with them. Okay, how do we go from this unicorn to 3 great horses, right? Okay, sorry but try to make the definition more realistic based on the technical realities of the market. This is something that we help as well.
Diego, were you going to say something there?
No, I completely agree. As Eduardo mentioned it, we get really involved in the process, in the selection process, to the point too where we can provide feedback. We can help them see things in a more realistic way that they can approach the problem that they have. Maybe they are creating a job description for one big role. It can be divided in two different roles, or it can be adjusted for something more accurate to the market. And also, based on their budget and the type of project, we can also adjust to that and provide them with really valuable feedback.
Gotcha. So yeah, then what I'm hearing is it's definitely more of like a white glove process / service to help these companies, right? So that's really great to hear, like the involvement that you guys have when you partner up with someone. But what are like some of the top, I guess, verticals? Because it almost sounds like there's two different types of ideal clients that you work with. What would you say those top verticals are?
Well, right now, one of those is software product companies that they already have a solution in place, like a financial application or a website for e-commerce or any particular product that they use, or a software as a service that they provide to other businesses, and that they are in need of new talent. Maybe they are limited and they need help finding the right person. Maybe they are not able to find them locally, so they are looking for alternatives to that issue. And also other consultancy companies or software companies that can work as partners. Maybe they are already working with big clients, but they are facing a similar issue. Maybe their capabilities are not available right now. They don't have the resources available for to do the recruitment, and they need someone to be involved in the process from both an HR and a technical side of the process. So we can also help them with that.
Gotcha. So it's almost like a supply and demand. It sounds like, right? If there's more, people, or sorry, if there's more companies than people, right? You guys can provide that staff augmentation to those potential partners. And then on the flip side, it's actually going after the kind of the direct to B2B, right? The direct to consumer, right? Going after those software type product companies.
Yeah, correct.
Gotcha. So from like the outside looking in, now let's kind of use this let this say that, because it is, right? Like you guys are here to help educate me, on who you guys work with. So, you talked a little bit about the types of companies that you partner with, the types of services that you have, and the value behind those services. So all of that kind of combined, is again that secret sauce. But why would, a customer, let's call it a software product company, a SaaS-based business, why would, they choose you guys over, the other competition that's out there in the space? Kind of an open question for both of you. Just kind of curious.
Well, I like to add some ideas here. So another thing that Ensitech is different maybe from other companies, we talk about how we approach the engagements, but there's another thing. So we are a nearshore solution company. So we are mostly based in Latin America. So this is a very important difference, because we try to get on board great engineers from Latin America that don't want to leave their home countries, such as myself. So I mean, I don't want to leave my country. I'm not sure if I'm great or not, but well, I was working at Microsoft at some point, and then for personal reasons, because I just wanted to live in my own country, I come back.
Sure.
I'm back here. So and there's a lot of people in this situation that if they have a great tech job, they'd rather stay at home, right? So we want to tap this talent market untap this talent market for our customers, right?
I love it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, right? The value is the people, right? Their culture, your culture, and their expertise. What about you, Diego? Anything like stands out to you on, the customers that you guys are signing up, and, why they're signing up with you?
Yes, we got really good reviews on Clutch, and they most of the time mention the way that we approach the problem by being completely engaged since the beginning, asking the right questions, going back and forth with the candidates, having knowledge about the market. Like we know that people living in Colombia, maybe they have some particular requirements in terms of salary, benefits, and so on. And we can teach our clients about that, that they can learn that Latin America, of course, is a really big talent pool, that it's a lot of opportunities for them to find good developers, good engineers here. And we can provide them with that valuable feedback from the candidates too. So that is something that they really appreciate, because they don't stay only with the resume, but they actually get to know the person, get to know the reasoning for them to work remotely, that it's both practical for them because they are having a person maybe working on a really affordable rate, comfortable working from their home remotely in the same time zone. There are several benefits for both sides. Uh, and once they try that, maybe there is a particular situation in which they are a little afraid of doing that because they don't have the person on the office, or they don't have to communicate with them. But as soon as they see that we are involved in the whole process, and we actually help making the distance shorter and having them communicated on a daily basis, having different types of interviews and getting to know the candidate, they get confident and they see the actual benefits of having someone working remotely from Latin America.
I love it. Yeah. And so very involved in the process, open communication, levels of transparency. I definitely think are all things that you're going to need for scalability, right? Like, oh, this one worked out great. Okay, how do we grow and scale this out? With you guys, right? That's the goal, is to get those larger enterprise type customers. So, like, are you seeing any big challenges right now that you guys are facing as a business to scale this out?
Well, I think that the hard part, at least before this year, was the talent pool. I mean, it was at some point easier to find the positions and the customers, and then the hard part is to find the talent. And it's I believe it's the global talent market that is just hot for IT talent. And I think that was the difficult part. Probably this year that the market is cooling a little bit, is becoming more balanced in terms of how much do we need to invest in new customers and new talent. We are still understanding how the market is going to behave this year. But still, we are very optimistic because we think there is true value for both of the parties, customer and talent engineers from Latin America. True value for both of them, great value. Company can find long-term staff with us because, as you know, it's so maybe we are offering one of to these engineers one of their greatest career advancements,
Right.
for the companies we're going to work. So there's true value for all of them, and so despite the market being a little bit cooler this year, we still are super optimistic on our long-term prospects, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, how are you doing? Like, you're the director of AI, right? You've been in this for 4 years too. I'm definitely curious, Eduardo, like how's AI playing into like your day to day? Like, how are you leveraging it? Is it for your customers? Is it for you guys internally? Like, I've been meaning to ask you, like, since that's your focus right now, like how are you thinking about AI? Like, tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I have to help big firms, firms of several thousand employees mostly, that have already an internal team of AI or analytics, and we are advisors and, of course, extra hands. To first, we need to understand where the AI or the machine learning or simply apply statistics maybe will deliver true business value. And this is as crazy as it may sound, it is the hardest part to really understand the business problem in which applying this technology is going to deliver a superb return for investment. Because everyone likes to play with the toys and the ChatGPT, and it's great. I mean, not saying it's just a toy. I mean, it's super super advanced product. I've been doing some talks about it, but it's hard to find the really a business case in which you can justify the investment on AI, and then where's the return investment going to be producing. And this is mostly my role, and I have a team of data scientists, and I have to coach, of course, my team in technical terms. But yeah, this is what I do. I work with the customers. I review with the projects with them. I help them write the projects, define the business cases, validate the business cases through proof of concept. So you don't want to just put all in. You want to go like validating each step of the project, technical feasibility, then business feasibility, and then of course producing the return, right?
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like there's a lot of work, almost like so if you're applying like data analytics and AI, kind of mashing those together, is kind of what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Actually, yes. This because sometimes, for example, you need to predict. You have a prediction problem. You want to predict your demand. To say something very generic. So there's AI to do that. There's statistics to do that, or there's playing guess, which sometimes business do, or very simple things. And then we need to be open to whatever works best. Sometimes the solution it may be solved with the AI as well, but people not necessarily will going to be comfortable because of the visibility of how the decision or how the prediction is being made.
Mm-hmm.
So they sometimes trust more in a formula, very robust formula that they understand and they can decipher. And but we find those problems in all the space. We sometimes find a customer that tell me, "Hey, Eduardo, we need to use ChatGPT for this because it's the hottest thing," and of course we can provide the solution. Maybe it's a marketing, it's a visibility issue for them, so we just jump in as well. We are here to help us at the end of the day, right?
I understand. Yeah, I appreciate the example and understanding kind of what your focus is to help some of these bigger customers, but also are you leveraging AI also internally? Because I know that you mentioned like you're working with some larger enterprise. What about internally at Ensitech? Like how are you guys using AI? What's your focus there?
We are at the design phase of a solution, which is going to be helpful for us and for customers as well. We are planning designing a solution that will help us streamline this match process of talent demand and offer to who are the prospects, the potential candidates that can fill this solution, and then make all this service flow very very rapidly. But this is a design project. We still not launched, but yeah, we definitely would like to use it internally.
Interesting. So creating a solution for demand utilizing AI.
Yeah, for matchmaking and the process and the hiring process run faster, right?
Yeah, I love it. Center for talent.
Sort of, yeah.
That's very interesting. And how are you guys thinking about like educating, the market on Ensitech, here in the US, right? Very competitive, I'm sure. How is marketing playing a role right now in helping you guys stand out? Maybe for Diego.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, on the marketing side and sales, what we are trying to do is to focus on social selling and creating content for different platforms. Right now, our main platforms are Instagram and LinkedIn. From my personal brand, I try to create small video clips explaining what we do, asking or answering some really basic questions about our recruitment process. What are the complexities that exist in hiring someone? Let's say if you're in the US, hiring someone in Mexico or Brazil or Argentina, the different type of situations that can happen, how many hours they overlap. That is something that usually people ask. Like what is the time zone difference? Sometimes they are the same. Sometimes there is 1 or 2 hours of difference. So answering that type of common questions, it's the type of content that I create for potential clients in the future. Talking about the company, even sharing memes about recruitment, the problems that they have on a day-to-day basis, so they can laugh a little on LinkedIn. And on the other side, on Instagram, is more from our marketing team. Um, they're focused on sharing the culture inside of Ensitech, so we can uh, uh, cater to both the clients and the candidates or the possible candidates. So they can see, even though the company is completely remote right now, since the pandemic, we are working remotely from home. We have around, I think, over 100 people in the company, and everybody's working remotely. We have really good communication, really good culture. We remember the birthdays. We remember the work anniversaries. We provide training. We provide with health programs for them to make exercise at home, and that it's also something that it's beneficial for the candidates and the clients to understand that even though the work is remote, it can be completely done without any issue whatsoever. And more in the technology industry, we have the blessing of being able to work on a computer from our home. So we try to share that too for both sides, so they can see the upsides and the benefits of the company, or of the culture that we have. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Culture is important for sure. Yeah, there's got to be a voice from the out. Yeah, again, from the outside looking in, it's always hard to tell what life is like, even within a company too. And so those are all big things for, especially you guys, as you're trying to recruit the best talent to the team to land those larger clients and accounts, right? So that's really important to get the culture picture out there, especially the industry and space you guys are in, and being in Mexico for sure. So this has been really interesting, right? You have a lot of interesting things going on. Some new products and solutions you're developing with the help of AI, which is really cool. You have your core service and solution and your ideal customer. It sounds like there's a very clear picture on who you guys are partnering up with and who you want to work with. So, as we look to the end of this year, are there specific goals or things that you guys want to be celebrating? Maybe it's specific, on the supply side, maybe it's getting enough, getting some more people in the front door to be a part of your culture, or is it, on the business side and hitting, a new partnerships number, right? Like, what is that big kind of North Star that you guys are focused on for this year?
Okay, I will share on my side from the commercial aspect. Of course, is growing as all the companies need to grow and want to grow. Getting to help more businesses, getting to have more people engage, more candidates. One particular goal is personally is to be able to uh, meet with our clients in person eventually, to be able to visit them more often, having of course a reason to travel, not only just to go to the US, but actually having several clients to visit in different states. I hope we can get to that point. Right now, our relations, we already have several companies, both small and big, as clients, but most of our engagement is remote or over a call. So a personal goal right now is to be able to have a big number of clients so I can visit them in person. And of course, that will help to strengthen the relation, to meet them, to give them a little present, whatever I can do. So I can mention that as part of a small goal
Of course.
inside the commercial part. I don't know, Eduardo, you more on the white.
Well, you have the main growth area of the company in your hands. So your goals are my goals as well. Well, I just had some internal challenges or goals that I'm interested a lot in working this year. So I'm for us is an interesting shift as well to be a Mexican company and then transforming to the US company and then with a Latin American staff. So for us, this company has become like very sparse, and this is very important to understand because right now you talk to someone, your colleague, and you don't know if your colleague is in Chile or Bolivia. that it may be it's like our country become like 10 times bigger from in a few years, right? Our workspace, and I'm trying to make everyone feel comfortable with this new reality that become very accelerated in the pandemic and post-pandemic years. So we were already serving some US or global customers before that, but mostly, for example, from Mexico, and it was mostly from the office as well. We were not fully remote, so remote the full digitalization of the company was a post-pandemic decision, and we haven't looked back since. But it created a new reality for us to understand and to be able to leverage to help our customers as well.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that's very important for me in Nigeria.
Well, first, Diego, I want to come visit you guys in Guadalajara. You guys can take me out. That's where I want to go. But I'm sure if you want to come to the States too, we can make sure that get some coffee. For me, I love tacos and beer, but I'll take that too. I've always wanted to come to Mexico and visit Guadalajara and Mexico City. So I'm sure people would love to come visit you guys and see the staff, see the talent, see the culture you guys have created there. That's, I'm sure, a big piece of those potential partnerships too. So don't always forget to leverage your home, right? It's a beautiful place. And yeah, like I love hearing kind of how you guys are growing and scaling, and there's a lot going on there, right? From the software and teams you guys have to how you guys are scaling this out. So it sounds like, again, really exciting time to be there, and especially living in this new remote world that we live in. You know, and being able to continue to get the message out. There is still great talent out here that can be leveraged, and you guys have the teams to do it. So yeah, this has been a really insightful and fun conversation.
Thank you. Max, I would like to add something additional. We are going to participate in the month of September on the Midsize Enterprise Summit in Houston. So we are going to travel, part of the company, to participate there, to get to know more companies, to get to know in person some of our clients, to visit them too. So I would like to take this time to announce that we are participating there, and I hope for the upcoming years we're going to be in more and more events related to the IT industry.
And where else you guys are going to be? Any webinars, places? Like, what's the best place people can get a hold of you guys? Is it the website? Is it your LinkedIn? Diego, you guys coming? What's basic way for people to find you?
I am really active on LinkedIn. They can reach out to me basically any time of the day. Also, we have a contact form on ensitech.com. That is ensitech.com. We have a chatbot. I also answer to that chatbot, so you can pick me over there, or the contact form. So whatever you feel comfortable with, you can send a message and we will reply.
Perfect. Awesome. That's great. Make it easy for people to find me, remove that friction of people chatting with you guys. It's great to hear. More conversations, the better. And so I appreciate you guys being a part of this podcast with me and the Business Ninjas team. I feel like I've definitely learned a lot about what you guys are doing at Ensitech and how you guys are growing and all the exciting things that are going on there. So I appreciate you guys being here and sharing your story.
Excellent.
I think that's Diego. Was absolutely Eduardo. Appreciate your guys' time. And that wraps up another episode of the Business Ninjas podcast. Everyone have a great rest of the day, and thanks for listening.